story of how Diabell Star was able to overcome all odds. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oscar. I know this regional tells a story of epic proportions, honestly. It's the way that this meta has shaped up. It has left Rogue in a little bit of a pickle. You know, your golden standard is you have to be able to overcome Mitsurugi Yummy and Draco Tail. Both of those were in participation at this event. Actually, both of those decks together ended up taking up half of the overall top cut for the event. So it's not like that these decks aren't actually here. They are actually doing a pretty strong job at checking the meta, as you would kind of expect with a tournament like this. Now, there was also triple Malice in this event, which Malice has been one of those decks that I think has done a good job at really kind of shifting around and pressuring out some of the meta. But then you kind of get down to some of the other parts of the meta where you're just kind of like, you know, is this really a challenge or is it just something else that entirely has come along? And that is Azamina. So the Azamina Diabell Star deck, we now have a couple of records of this deck actually showing up. Like, this was actually just kind of a off of the wall appearance here, and then it ended up topping two regionals back to back. And this is another case of somehow this Azamina deck continues to come through the front door and continues to shock the community. And I'm shocked that the community is shocked that, you know, a deck whose job is to spin through resources and burn out the opponent is actually able to do so. Now, I mean, the build for this event is playing the Lava Golems. You are going to be playing those cards that is meant to cut off your opponent. So, you know, the deck does a fantastic job at what it needs to do. Let's pass on over to those deck lists. So starting things off here, we have Malice. And Malice has kind of come back out as one of those decks that if you're expecting to play the meta and you're not bringing Lancius to the table, then, oh, by all means, be ready to see what a Malice challenger is going to be able to do to you, because this has kind of been the standard as of late. Like, if you're not prepared for what Malice is going to throw you, pick up your cards and call it a day, because this deck has been doing great. Still playing the Triple Dominus. TCG build has access to triple lore, while the OCG, you know, long since took care of limiting this card, which was a very good call in their opinion. Like, they needed to do something to check this, because sometimes, you know, we didn't have the 60 card build, which would have been way more crazy to deal with. But I am glad to see fundamentally that we have taken some steps back here. And I mean, you're just going with the 2 March Hare, which is fine. 2 White Rabbit, Dormouse is enough to usually check this deck. Next up here, we have Mitsurugi Yummy, but this is going to remind you guys a little bit of the original build that Triff was playing, which did bridge into the 60 card piles a very long time ago. I think the time of the 60 card Yummy Mitsurugi pile has kind of gone away. I did enjoy the build. It was very cool to see what it could actually do, but it's just not able to keep up. I mean, playing this little small package and getting access to the Herald is fine. You're playing a regional, it's not exactly the greatest size of the competition, which is fine. I also do see, we are playing Double Cyclone in the side deck. You know, Double Cyclone still showing up to be one of those cards that's meant to inconvenience Draco Tail is still one of the best things that we have seen in the evolution of the meta. So this list gets a pass from me, at least in terms of it's got some spicy little tech choices that are meant to, you know, make the deck a little bit more exciting. Next up, oh boy, we have more Malice. You are going to notice some recurring themes here. You're going to see that we are doing 2 March Hare along with 2 Allure of Darkness, but also this list is going with one of each of the trap cards. Remember, guys, if you play all 3 trap cards, you're behind. Yeah, that was the talk of the community ages ago. This build is also playing Dimensional Fissure. I think Dimensional Fissure is one of those hilarious cards that if you do see it, you are able to slowly spin the progression of the game very, very close to your favor. And that is actually a very, very good thing. We don't talk enough about how Dimensional Fissure being one of the best floodgates in modern era times actually is. And trust me, being able to wrench your opponent on any scale by taking away their graveyard is going to feel pretty good for you. Trust me on that. Also, yes, thrust into the DD ground also sometimes accomplishes the exact same thing. Next up here, we have our Diabell star deck. You know, Vengeance being able to pop 2 is crazy work. But also, we have this nice little Saint Azamina down here, whose job is just to damage reflect on a 4K that locks it so that your opponent cannot target cards in their field, graveyard, or banishment. You know what happens when they actually can't interact with their own field? Yeah, some crazy things. Also, this thing is damage reflecting like it's its job on a 4K, by the way. It's very, very strong. It's what all of this Azamina stuff is meant to do. Its job is to be able to put this big boss monster on the field for you to also mode change into this, which is the true Azamina, and then just spin ball and control the field. All right, especially going second with Lava Golems does basically crack apart your opponent's entire field. So there is some warrant to actually wanting to play this deck. It's scary, actually, isn't it? Next up here for, finally somebody got the memo. You're allowed to play triple copies of March Hare and triple copies of Allure of Darkness. This deck is so consistent, usually, that, like, sometimes having the extra March Hare can be an inconvenience to the deck, which is a crazy concept to think about, that your deck doesn't necessarily want to be having, you know, too much of these. So I do think the correct call is maximizing on this, but then maybe you lose a hand trap you don't have access to. You know, once again, we go back to the former memo here where we see, you know, we're just going to play one of each and cut out the other trap card. I don't know, man. Yeah, at this point in time, a good Malice player that doesn't get stopped by Lancia is probably going to have a pretty good successful run throughout the meta, and that's usually all you've got to do, right? You just got to connect it and basically get off of the ground, and you can basically go. So, seems good enough to me. Oh, we have Dracotail back here. Finally. We have a Dracotail variant actually playing the Fallen and the Virtuous. You know how hard it is to find a good Fallen and the Virtuous player out here? Most of these listers don't even want to look at this card, which for some reason, it was a trend for a little while, and then it just kind of rode off into the sunset. I don't exactly get why. We were also playing the triple Fenrir back here. Trust me when I say this, the Fenrir is a very, very good card for this deck. Fenrir being able to special search for an additional copy of Fenrir that you can then fuse off with while still maintaining the Fenrir on the field. Yeah, it does get a little bit stupid in that regard. So it does actually work out pretty easily. We'll also win with the 2 Secaturion Dragon down here for the grind game, which is usually pretty decently accepted, I feel like. So, not too bad. Next up here, we have more Yummy Mitsurugi. Man, this deck just continues. See, there's nothing even exciting in here because they didn't even choose to play the fairy stuff. We're also going with one field spell. We're not even citing the additional copy. We do have a crossout designator down here just to be able to inconvenience the opponent if they try to inconvenience us. Being able to slap them around a little bit and be like, no, you will not ash me. Or no, you had the droll. I'm not going to stand for that. That's typically when you'd bring in this card. Bringing in the crossout to stop counterplay is usually very, very solid. You've also noticed we've got triple Pinkertops back here. It's been a little while since I have seen Pinkertops actually running around in the meta. I don't necessarily think people like playing this card anymore because it does genuinely feel a little bit slower than the rest of the meta, but I think that this is kind of a good countermeasure card, especially, you know, if you can knock off your opponent's field spell before they can get any real value off of it. Next up here, we have some pure Dracotail for you. I guess this is a pretty... Oh, hi, we're playing Crowley down here. Okay, I see you. Having the one of Crowley, I see we are playing the Magistus. I mean, hey, it's a spellcaster plus a Magistus to make it. And then, of course, we have the Zorowa and the Artemis. You're dedicating 3 slots to get access to this. It's not exactly the worst thing in the world, but is it really that good to want to dedicate the slots? I guess. I mean, it clearly worked out. Also doing the double Fenrir in here, which I do think is okay. But what do you guys think about these interesting decks? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.